While most Americans who were paid in tips or paid overtime are going to get a break on their taxes this year, the Scrooges of several blue states are not extending that courtesy. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has been joined by blue Scrooges in other Democrat states in not extending President Trump's no tax on tips, on overtime, Social Security benefits, new car buyers, etc., on their state income taxes. All the while, they're preaching about affordability for the middle class. Joining us now is New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney and Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. Ladies, wonderful to see you again. Thank you so much for being here. Congressman Van Duyne, I don't know about Texas, but I can tell you in New York, there aren't a lot of rich folks who take overtime pay, or not a lot of rich folks who get their pay in tips or who are on Social Security. That's mostly for the middle class. Forgive my expression, but they are screwing the middle class, not the rich on this, aren't they?
No, you're absolutely right. All the people they claim that they represent, that they want more for, they absolutely do. At the end of the day, they are looking at people whose money, whose hard-earned labor is their own, and again, they're saying, you know what? No, it belongs to the government, and we're going to decide how it gets spent. New York is one of the worst states, and Claudia knows this. New York is one of the worst run by local and state representatives that it gets. They have all sorts of programs that they spend billions and billions of dollars of hard-earned taxpayer dollars on that shouldn't be spent. They waste it. And Kathy Hochul, this is a power grab for her. They're basically going to be paying for programs, basically paying people to be able to vote for them, to keep them on, to keep them on the dole. It is not the best thing for taxpayers whatsoever. Yeah. The Trump administration, Republicans in Congress recognize that. We tried to provide relief. We tried to provide relief with this working families tax cut bill to those folks who are working in restaurants who don't want to pay taxes on their tips, to people in law enforcement who don't think they should be paying taxes on their overtime. And you're right, you're seeing these Grinches, these Scrooges in these blue states say, you know what, that's our money, not yours.
Well, I have to, you mentioned her name. I have to bring in Claudia here. Claudia Tenney has been doing yeoman's work in pushing back on all those people in New York who were making these horrible decisions to screw the middle class. Again, I can't find another expression for it, Claudia. But what's worse, Claudia, is that your New York fellow, I say fellow Congresswoman, but she's not a fellow in very much, AOC, she's always bragging about how she used to be a bartender. Bartenders depend on tips. If she cared one twit about the bartenders that she's always so bragging that she was a part of, she wouldn't be screwing them the way she is.
Well, of course, and this is a perfect opportunity for Democrats to push back on the policies of Kathy Hochul and support the middle class right now by standing up, but they won't do it because they're not going to do anything to make anything that Donald Trump or the Republicans do look good to help the middle income taxpayers and to help with affordability, because that's their mission, that's their mantra. It doesn't matter who they hurt. They are just sinister in their intent. And I think it's always so funny. You have me on contrasted with the free state of Texas and New York, and Beth and I trying to fight these battles off and how to make New York more like Texas and Florida. And it's really interesting, but they don't care. They just, it's all about destroying Trump and destroying the Republicans and getting power. Beth was right. It's all about power. They don't care who they hurt and who they step on in their way.
And then, Congresswoman Van Duyne, we have Obamacare and these subsidies which keep going up. I don't know if you heard me talking to Mr. Braun, the governor of the great governor of Indiana, the great state of Indiana. He was talking about it was never affordability. It was never meant to be affordable. It was always meant to hook people into government handouts. There's some Republicans who think that they can cut a deal with Democrats about extending those Obamacare subsidies a little longer, at least through the midterms. Are you part of that small group, or are you trying to talk them out of that?
No, I'm not part of that group. I think throwing good money after bad and continuing to prop up a system that has spent hundreds of billions of dollars to make healthcare less accessible and more expensive is the wrong way to go. I'm going to be working with Speaker Johnson and with colleagues in Ways and Means like Claudia to actually get people a way to be able to pay for healthcare that prioritizes what they want, allows more competition in the market, and takes away dollars that are not being spent on healthcare but are being spent just to be able to prop up health insurance companies. I think that's where we need to go, whether or not it's looking at healthcare plans where people can go, like in Rand Paul's bill, where you can go to Costco and you can buy health insurance. You don't have to go through an employer, would allow more competition by increasing the amount of money that you have in HSAs before taxes is another way to go. But we've got to put money back into the hands of the actual patients,
Right.
and not out of the hands of the health
It's
insurance
our
companies.
money. We've got to get the middlemen out of there. Finally, Claudia, the shutdown, the possibility of a shutdown. We don't have much time, about 30 seconds, but are we going to have another one? I think that's all that Democrats think they have now as leverage. They came out and admitted such with the first shutdown a couple of months ago. Are we going to have another one in January?
It's going to be all about the Affordable Care Act. And I just want to say something that's so important. One of the biggest hoaxes ever perpetrated on the American people is Obamacare. And the best person who pointed that out was its architect, a guy named Jonathan Gruber. Remember him?
Oh,
He's the guy
yeah.
that said, the lack of transparency and the stupidity of the voters was the only way we were going to actually get Obamacare passed, because we had to hide how much it was going to cost and how much it was going to hurt the American people, because it was never about health care. It was about insurance and giving people an insurance card, not health care. So that's the fight the Republicans have. Remember this architect, this big time economist, he said the American people were stupid. And we got to remember that as Republicans, we got about 30 days to make sure that we fix this, because it's the Democrats should own this. It adds to affordability along with their catastrophic energy policies. We have an opportunity, and that's what we need to do in the next 30 days. Looking forward to working with Beth and obviously the Speaker and all of the Republicans to set the record straight on this once and for all and help the American people.
Remember, it was during his first term that President Trump tried to do that for a year. He would have done it, but for one vote for the late Senator McCain, who voted against Trump's plans to turn that around, to decouple from the Obamacare train that is driving right into a ditch. He couldn't do it that time. Hopefully, he'll be able to do it this time. Congresswomen Claudia Tenney, Beth Van Duyne, great to see you both. Have a wonderful new year. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.